Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming out today. My name is Nikki Marzano. I'm the director of the Center for Career Services, and today our career advising staff and I are going to talk to you about what we do in career services, how we do it, and some advice that we have for you about making the most of your college experience. So let's talk about what we do in career services. We are here to help students like you make career-related decisions, develop skills to achieve your goals, and connect you to opportunities. So let's talk about that first one, making career-related decisions. So you're probably thinking, I've been a college student for about a month now. I'm not thinking about career-related decisions. But in fact, what we're here for is to help you with whatever your next steps are. So we're not talking about what do you want, figuring out what you want to do for the rest of your life. We're talking about whatever the next step is, we can help you with that process. So it might be figuring out what major to choose, or figuring out that maybe you're not enjoying the major that you thought you would. We can help with decisions like that. So that might look like an individual appointment where really we're just having a conversation and talking you through that decision, helping you consider options. Or it might be an assessment that we do with you that helps identify your strengths and preferences and figuring out what you might like to do with those skills that you already have. The second thing, developing skills to achieve your goals. Do you know that people change jobs about 11 times in their life now? So what we want to do is help you learn how to do that on your own, help you give you the skills so that you can find a new job when it's time to do that. So we can do that through individual appointments with our career advisors. We all might meet with you to help work on a resume, practice interviewing skills, coach you on how to look for an internship, coach you on how to negotiate a job offer. These kind of things can take place individually, but you're also going to get a lot of these skills through our professional development program, which you're going to hear about more later in the presentation. And finally, we connect you to opportunities. And this happens in a lot of different ways. So this might be events like career fairs, which are still taking place just virtually. There's one next Thursday evening called Meet the Recruiters, and as first-year students, you are absolutely welcome to attend. One way that you might do that is to select a time to meet with an employer and ask them, what should I be doing now as a first-year student to get ready to apply for an internship with your organization in the future? We also will arrange alumni career panels where you can learn from alumni who were in your shoes not that long ago, what they did to get into the positions or grad schools where they are now. We arrange networking events and help generate internship and job opportunities, which you can find in Handshake, which is our career management system, which you'll also hear more about. So in order to kind of get things started, let's do a quick poll to kind of put some context around these career-related decisions. So you should see the poll in front of you. First question is, what percentage of college students come into college undecided or change their major at least once? Go ahead and answer as we go through. What percentage of John Carroll students were involved in student organizations last year? Third question, what percentage of college graduates reported working in an area related to their major? And the fourth question is, what percentage of John Carroll students do at least one internship? If anybody hasn't put their answers in yet, go ahead. We'll leave it for a few more seconds. All right, we can go ahead and cut it off. Okay, great. So the first question was, how many college students, or really what percentage of college students, come into college undecided or change their major at least once? And you guys were on the right track there. 75% of college students are either undecided or change their major. So this should be something that lets you know it is perfectly okay to not know what you want to major in right now, or to change your mind if you think that maybe what you thought you wanted to do isn't actually going to be the right fit. So we encourage you to explore majors your first and second year, take a variety of classes, see what you enjoy, see what you're excelling in, but know that it's perfectly okay to have not made this decision yet. Second question, what percentage of John Carroll students were involved in student organizations last year? Let's see. The correct answer is 70%. So, but I appreciate the way you're all thinking and thinking that 85% might have done that. I think that shows a great mindset on your part, that you know that it's important that students get involved. And Logan's going to talk to you more about why it's so important to explore opportunities, try different things, and have some stories to tell while you're at John Carroll. Third question, what percentage of college graduates reported working in an area related to their major? The correct answer is actually 27%. So only about a quarter of people report that they're working in an area related to their major. So again, this should tell you that it should at least take off any kind of pressure that you might be feeling. What employers are going to be looking for, what grad schools, but depending on the grad school, sometimes you actually do need some very specific courses for certain grad programs. But what a lot of employers are going to be looking for are the transferable skills that you've developed both in the classroom and outside of the classroom in your experiences engaging as a college student. So it's not always as big of an important of a decision as some people think. Finally, fourth question, what percentage of John Carroll students do at least one internship? And again, your answer of 76% is correct. Again, I love that you're all thinking kind of big, that this is something that you would think that most students would do. A lot of you will have a major that requires an internship to graduate, but even if your major doesn't require it, it's highly encouraged that you do. This generally isn't something you need to do until probably after you've completed your sophomore year. And it's something you can talk to your academic advisor about when would be a good time to kind of work this into your curriculum. But you know, national average is about 68% of students do internships. So at 76%, it shows how engaged John Carroll students are in this process. You know, doing an internship kind of lets you know whether you enjoy doing something. It's good to find that out early on. It's also really good to find out if you don't like doing something. So thank you for participating in that. Next, we're going to meet and hear from each of our career advisors as they talk more about how we can support you in your career journey. Thanks.
Thanks, Nikki. My name is Logan Bess. I'm Assistant Director for Academic Internships at Career Services, and I also serve as a career advisor. And in the next few slides, I'm going to talk a little bit about the importance of having stories to tell. And when we talk about having stories to tell, I don't mean the funny stories you might tell your friends or roommates or things like that. It's more professional stories, stories that come from your own experiences. And these stories will often come from experiences on campus, including activities and clubs you may choose to involve yourself with, and other experiences such as internships, part-time work, and jobs on campus. Having these stories to tell is essentially going to help you discern what you like to do in terms of your own professional goals and career interests. And you can use these stories to really help demonstrate your skills to employers and set yourself apart from other candidates as you interview for job and internship opportunities. Having these stories is very important, but just as important in that is knowing how to tell those stories. And we understand that for some folks, it can be really tough to talk about yourself and how great you are and your awesome qualities and how it pertains to a job. And that's a piece of what we can help you do at Career Services, is help you kind of figure out how to share those stories in the best way possible. It's really one of the ways that we help you develop those skills to achieve your goals, like Nikki was talking about. So basically, your experiences inside and outside the classroom will help lead to career relevant stories for you to tell. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear from Jimmy.
In terms of storytelling, I kind of knew at the beginning, and it was really through relay of Career Services, that this is a really big aspect of professional development. Specifically, I remember my very first appointment that I ever held with Pat. He kind of took me in and just started asking me questions, started kind of taking notes and cross-referencing his thoughts with what I was saying. And so essentially, we went on and did an assessment, and he has a bunch of tools, and I'm sure you guys are fully aware of these tools. And he's helping me throughout the conversation construct what would then become the start of my story. And in terms of building it, since it's been interesting, because sometimes you think like, okay, when should I self-advocate? When should I not? Where should I add this, that, or the other thing? And one thing I have to still constantly remind myself is that it's okay to self-advocate. It's okay to tell your story the best way you see fit. So, yes, there's more professional ways than others to tell your story, obviously, but that's why Career Services is here. They're here to help you with that. But just think of yourself as if you're literally writing that book, and Career Services is a great asset to kind of help with that.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So moving on, there are many, many opportunities for you to engage and develop your own personal story. You can join a student organization and gain leadership experience. And one of the ways to learn about student organizations is to visit Carroll Connect for more information on the great student organizations at JCU. And when thinking about joining an organization, you don't necessarily have to be the head of the organization to demonstrate those skills. You can help plan and deliver an event and use that experience to discuss your organizational skills. Speaking of student employment, there are many jobs on campus that have you doing work at a very high level, such as being a teaching assistant, working as a peer advisor, other things like that. You'll gain really valuable experience when you take a course with a service learning component, where you'll be doing service in the community and it ties directly back to what you're studying. Certainly when it's safe, we highly recommend that you do a study abroad experience. These can be absolutely life-changing, and it helps you draw on your skills around self-reliance and the ability to adapt to new situations. Immersion experiences can have a significant impact on you, help you develop those stories. We'll talk a little bit more about that on the next slide with a specific student. And for those of you looking for careers in the sciences or health fields, certainly doing research with your faculty is very important to be able to demonstrate your lab skills and a better understanding of science and research. And really all you have to do is ask your faculty member if you can work with them. It's one of the great benefits of a smaller school like John Carroll is you do have greater access to your faculty members and things like that. And then, all of these experiences can really help you get that internship that'll give you more stories to tell that may then lead to the next job, right? Some folks say that internships are the longest job interview you'll ever have. So these are all great ways to help you develop your stories and your experiences. And my last little piece here, before I hand it over to one of my colleagues, is to talk a little bit about Liz Marcelli here. And you can see here that Liz has done a lot of stuff, right? A lot of experiences, a lot of great stuff here. But I want to highlight one thing that kind of goes beyond just these things, and that's the story behind her data science minor. Liz really found that she likes data science. She thought it was interesting, but she was having trouble connecting it with what she really, really wanted to do, which was to help others and be there for others. However, on her immersion experience to Honduras in 2018, she found that she'll never be able to look at numbers the same way again, because she was working with them around clean water and things like that. She said when she's coding and working on data derived from the Honduras experience, she realized that all those data points can represent real people. She looks at the numbers and she sees the faces of the folks that she's helping and making an impact with. And that's such an amazing story that she can then share, you know, to future employers and things like that. So again, can't hammer home enough. I know it sounded a bit like a broken record, the importance of having stories to tell. It's really going to help set you apart.
Hi everyone, my name is Tane Dallas. I'm also a career advisor at the Center for Career Services, and I'm going to talk about the College of Arts and Sciences Professional Development Program today. This is one way that our office will help you build your skills for whatever is next for you after John Carroll. So the way we do this is we have a series of online modules that you will complete, and we will also do presentations that you can attend. Through these modules, you will learn skills that will help you secure internship, research experiences, entry into graduate and professional schools, and post-graduation jobs. A lot of times you are going to find the College of Arts and Sciences Professional Development Program integrated into your classes. They will have assignments for you to do, and you will complete those through the Canvas page that I will show you here in just a minute. If you ever have any questions on this program, though, I'm your person to contact, and my email is here at the bottom, and it's just tdallas@jcu.edu. Again, we are going to hear from Jimmy, who is a current senior, talking about the professional development program.
Fortunately, I had kind of a jump start on the entire building of my resume and building of my Handshake and LinkedIn and all of these different tools that you should be using. But if you don't have that experience and you go into this program, they will not only lead you in the right directions in order to start building these platforms to benefit you, but they will also continue to help you tell your story. So it's almost just like an extension from career services. And I remember being in that class, you know, there was a lot of working together in terms of career services. Individuals would come in to COM 205 and we would go through kind of mock interviews and things of that nature. And throughout the process, you know, they're continuing to help you build yourself in a professional light. So I'd say the experience in there was great, very wholesome, and it's a process, you know, building your professional portfolio, whether it's on a LinkedIn or a Handshake or a portfolio, it takes time and it does take effort, you know, it takes your diligence. So having a class that kind of helps you lead yourself in that direction in order to do so is very, very valuable.
Great. So just as you heard Jimmy talk about, this program is going to be integrated into some of your classes. The program is specific depending on each major. So the department faculty will choose the components of the program that they want to see their students complete and that will best benefit the students in that program. You can find the course, everyone is automatically added to a course when they enroll at John Carroll for the College of Arts and Sciences. You can find that just like any other Canvas course, it should be listed on your homepage there. Once you open the course, you'll want to go to the modules tab. This is where all the resources are going to be to complete this program. So you'll see here that there are videos for you to watch, different handouts that we have for you, and then some quizzes or some submissions that you'll need to do in order to complete the program. Once you complete the program, you are registered for a course which is called CE 401, stands for Career Education, and that actually shows up on your transcript, which is a great way to communicate to an employer that you completed a professional development course and have the skills necessary to enter the job force or grad school, or whatever is next for you after your time at John Carroll.
Hi everybody, my name is Abby McNutt. I am the graduate assistant in the Center for Career Services, and I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about Handshake today. So hopefully you all are familiar with Handshake, but if not, no big deal. That's what I'm here to tell you about today. So Handshake does a lot of really good things, but just to cover a few bases, it helps you get discovered. So what that means is in Handshake, employers are able to see you and you're able to connect with employers as well. So employers on Handshake are recruiting for students like you. They come to Handshake so that they are able to recruit specifically students in recent grads. Handshake also allows you to get hired. So we'll walk through this a little bit later in the presentation, but you are able to search for job opportunities, whether that be part-time, full-time internships, or even post-grad jobs, all in Handshake. And there are tons of jobs in Handshake, whether it be any industry, any major, any student type. Handshake has it all for you. The Handshake also allows you to get connected, so you are able to connect with not only employers on Handshake, but also peers. So, for example, if a peer from John Carroll or another university has been employed at an internship that you are interested in, you'll be able to see that they were employed as an intern with this specific organization or company, and you can reach out to them directly through Handshake to see how their internship experience was, how they liked the company, and also those people that have worked there previously are able to leave reviews and comments for you to read as you kind of do a deep dive on different organizations and companies. And with that, if you read those and you have further questions, once again, you're able to connect with them through Handshake. And then it's also just a spot where you can get everything in one place. So not only can you do all the things we've talked about previously, but it's the spot where you're going to schedule an appointment with career services, sign up to attend different career fairs and campus events. And it's a nice tool to just have all your resources in one bucket. And we'll explore that a little bit further as we move forward. So then, yeah, we're going to hear more about Jimmy and his experience with Handshake in this video.
Platform does take time to kind of build, like anything, and so maybe having that emphasis on starting early, because it's not like one of those things you just download and you're done. You know, you have to build it accordingly, and you have to frame it in a way that is going to benefit you to be applicable to certain jobs that you want. So I think definitely like putting that emphasis on trying to jump on it early and make that presence is really important.
So like Jimmy said, getting that emphasis on Handshake is super important. So next we're going to walk through all the different components of Handshake and kind of where you can find that on the site. So a few things that you're able to do on Handshake are request appointments with career services. So you can request appointments all the way from major choice down to resume checks, mock interviews, any type of career planning, interview prep, internship search, and you are able to do that with a career advisor like everybody that's here today with you. Or we also have peer advisors, which are students like you that are trained to do resume reviews, cover letter reviews, and LinkedIn profile reviews. So if you feel more comfortable meeting with a student and a peer of yours, you have that opportunity, or you're always welcome to meet with us as career advisors. You can also sign up, like I mentioned before, for career fairs on campus and other events. And all of these things you are able to do from your phone. So Handshake is really awesome because you not only can access it through your desktop, but it's also a mobile app that is super user-friendly. So you can do all of these things that we talk about today on your phone. The next thing is finding those part-time jobs, full-time jobs, both on and off campus, any internships, and then again, as you approach that senior year, post-graduation jobs as well. And then, unfortunately, right now, with the situation that we're in, this isn't completely applicable, but Handshake also has a tool that allows you to sign up for interviews for the jobs that you've applied for. So some companies are still using this for their interviewing scheduling purposes, but post-COVID, once we're all back on campus, you'll be able to sign up for on-campus interviews through Handshake as well. So Tane, if you want to head into Handshake, I'll show you guys a little bit about how to navigate all these things. So first, I'll show you where you go to schedule these appointments with Career Services. So you'll go under Career Center here, click on that. And then once this pops up, you can see a few things here that I want to highlight. This Appointments tab right here is where you'll go to schedule your appointment. It's very self-explanatory. Once you click there, you just select a few things and pick the time and reason that you're scheduling your appointment, and you'll receive an email confirmation, and everything will be nice and easy for you there. Another thing I want to point out on this slide is the Resources tab. So Career Services has a ton of awesome resources that you want to be sure to check out. So anywhere from resume writing guides, videos that we've created. In addition to Career Services too, we have lots of external resources on here that we have found and linked here for you so that you have direct access through here to all those resources too. So be sure to look around in there whenever you feel like you're stuck. So then the events that I was talking about is at the top here in the center of the top page. You can click on that, and that will show you all the events that are currently happening that you are able to register for. So one thing I want to definitely point out is the Career Services drop-ins. So we have drop-in hours that you are able to register for here. So the best way to do that is coming onto Handshake in this Events tab and registering for the drop-ins here. And in drop-ins, you'll be one-on-one with a career advisor, and you can go over any of the things that I mentioned before: resumes, internship or job searches, any interview preps, networking advice. As the career fairs pop up, like Nikki mentioned, Meet the Recruiters Night and the STEM fair, networking is always an awesome thing to have in your toolbox. So you want to, if you feel uncomfortable with an elevator speech or anything like that, stop by our drop-ins and we'll be able to help you with that. So then the next thing I want to show is the Jobs tab. So this is where you'll go to find all your job search tools, job search, internship, like I said, part-time, full-time internship opportunities. Any of that you can find in here. And in that middle bar right there is just a few of the filters. If you click that Filters tab, there are lots of other ways that you can filter your search, but I want to be sure to mention that you should always be careful when you're doing this, because the more that you enter into the Filters tab, the less you're going to receive on your search. So just keep it nice and broad, and pay attention to the number of jobs found as you narrow in your filters. So we'll come back to Handshake in a little bit, but that's it for that slide. So Handshake is similar to platforms like Netflix and Spotify, where it uses data intelligence to recommend jobs and internships based on your activity on your profile. So the more you interact with it, just like Spotify, just like Netflix, the more it's going to have information on you to then spit some things out that are most relevant to you that they've found as a match. So Jimmy talks a little bit about his experience with this as well.
Yeah. Treat it like a social media platform. The more you're on it, and the more you're editing it or doing whatever you need to be doing on it, the better and the more traction your profile will get naturally. So I still stay on it for that reason, although I'm currently not looking for a position. With that said, last year I was looking for a position, and I was on it all the time. Constantly trying to think of ways to better frame my profile for the jobs that I knew I was going to be applying for, through the platform. So Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, you can download the app on your phone. It's super user friendly, or you can use it on your desktop, and any which way you'd like to use it. It's a really great asset to have, and I recommend highly that it's used a lot.
Sorry, I was on mute. The first step in utilizing Handshake is going to be completing your profile. So we'll head back into Handshake so you all can see what I'm talking about with this. So you come over to your initials at the top and click My Profile, and that's where you're going to be able to go to edit all of your details in there. So the first thing you're going to want to do is be sure that you have a professional headshot in your profile on Handshake. This is a good way for employers, if they maybe met you at a career fair or a networking event, to make sure that they're connecting with what they know is the right person. It's also just a good way to put a face to a name. And then the next thing you're wanting to do is add your education in there and your work experience, and then any organizations and extracurriculars, any courses and projects that you feel are relevant to your industry or job that you're interested in. And then over to the left, you want to make sure that as you start doing this, your profile bar of completion is heading even more so to 100. So the closer you are to 100 is the closer you are to a completed profile. So as you approach 100, you want to be sure to mark your profile as public, because if you don't do that, no employers are going to be able to see you. So make sure that you first complete it, do all the steps that we've talked about today, and then as you approach 100% completion, make sure you publicize your profile. Another thing on your profile that you want to make sure you add is your interests. So this is another way, kind of like what we talked about with Netflix and Spotify, another way to add some additional details about what you're interested in. Maybe that's the industry, cities that you're interested in working for, different roles. This is another way for Handshake to prompt you with some things that are relevant to your interests. The next thing I'll mention is down at the bottom, and this is skills. So as you develop skills, whether that be in school or in group projects or extracurriculars, or even a job that you're currently in, or internships or volunteer experiences, add those skills and keep those updated, because once again, that's just another additional tool for employers to notice you and Handshake to generate some more relevant material. So another thing when you are completing your profile is, as you get close to that completion, you want to be sure that you are updating your uploading and updating your resume. So if you go back up to the initials and click Documents, this is where you'll go to submit your resume. So once you submit a resume to Handshake, it notifies us, and a peer advisor will review your resume and send you some feedback. So once you upload it and have that feedback received, you'll make the edits that you need to, and then make sure that you mark it visible. So then that means that it is now public on your profile, and employers are able to see your resume by clicking on your documents. So that is going to be key. And like I said, just to reiterate one more time, once you have that progress bar close to 100, you want to be sure that you make that a public profile. Don't want to forget to do that step, because that's how employers will find you. So we asked Jimmy, what advice would you give your freshman self about Handshake? And here's what he said.
I would definitely say, not to take it for granted. Although, yes, there's a lot being thrown at you. I think generally your freshman year, I feel like you're signing up and you're doing all these different things as just part of becoming part of the John Carroll community. But don't let that one go by the wayside, because it will become more and more important as your time goes on. And yeah, like I said, establishing your presence early. But mainly once you're kind of established on there, or even before you're fully established, use it as as a way to reach out to people also. These recruiters and these companies, whoever's heading like their side of the initiative of posting on Handshake, they have accessibility to message you, and you have accessibility to kind of message them. So use it to start networking. And then from there, you never know what's going to happen. You can build, whether it's just in terms of, I want to work at this company, so I'm going to reach out to this individual, or I have questions for this recruiter, and I'm preparing for this interview. Whatever your case is, use it for more than I think what you probably see just from the naked eye. You might see these job postings, you just look through them and apply. No, it's much more than that. There's a lot to it that can be utilized early and often. So that's what I would probably say.
So with that being said, today we are going to have everybody log onto your Handshake. So if you could scan this QR code with your phone, or you can simply type in jcu.joinhandshake.com, and that will bring you to the website itself. So I'll give you guys a few seconds to do that. And once you're in Handshake, if you could give me a thumbs up reaction, and then I'll know that we're good to go to get started. If you already have a Handshake account, no big deal, that you're ahead of the game. This is really just for you to sign in. So once you're in Handshake, you will use your John Carroll username, so amcnut19@jcu.edu, and then you'll create your own password from there. So hopefully everybody is in by now. And once you are in Handshake, like we talked about before, first step is going to be going straight to that profile and creating that profile. Get that headshot in there and all your information filtered through. You put your interests and your skills, and then once you have your profile filled out, making sure that you have that resume uploaded, and from there, once you get that 100% complete, making your profile public and getting going. You're going to get started and reach out to employers, kind of navigate, just do a quick job search based off what you think you might be interested in now, and then also check out the resources that we have on Handshake, as well as the events that are coming up. And you'll be all set. You'll be a Handshake expert.
So hi everyone, my name is Subinur Arkin. I go by Subi, so feel free to call me Subi in the future if we see each other during a virtual appointment. So with all that being said, at this point, some of you might be thinking of making an appointment and then meet with us and start utilizing career services. That's great. And some of you might be thinking about scheduling your first appointment, but are wondering, what does it really look like in real life? So let's hear from Jimmy again about his first appointment experiences with career services and how. Yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
Actually don't remember like the specific name of the appointment, but it was just, I think it was it was actually before I even had really declared a major. And I think that's obviously a great place to start, because you may not think of career services as being like an advisor in terms of that, but they are, and immensely so. It's yourself and Abby and Pat and everybody else in the office. You guys obviously know what you're doing. So my first appointment, I went in there, I was talking with Pat, and we took this, it was kind of like a self-analysis test, quiz, survey sort of thing. And it kind of showed, the results came back and showed what I, based off of my answers, would be good at, and what kind of professions I could see myself in. And then from there, just kind of the qualitative discussions started happening between myself and Pat, and we were able to come up with kind of this conclusion. And the conclusion was essentially what I study now is integrated marketing communications. And I think it was invaluable. I mean, it's incredibly, valuable how everybody there can kind of help break down what you're good at and what you could be doing in the future.
So as you now know that Jamie came in for like career major exploration type of appointment. So I do want to mention that your first appointment might look different depending on the type of appointment you come in to meet with, one of the career advisor. And in addition to that, we strongly recommend you to start utilizing career services as early as possible, like Nikki mentioned earlier at the very beginning of this presentation. And just like how we did the poll together, I'm sure that you now understand that career exploration is not just a straight line. It really kind of changes, it's flexible. So the earlier you start thinking about your career journey and your development, the better. So the next video is going to show you like why you should be utilizing career services early on within your time at John Q University. So let's take a look.
Solid 10. I mean, the organization as a whole is extremely helpful, and there's a lot of value across the board. I mean, there's so many different things in which you can use career services for. Don't look at the name and you're like, and make an assumption that it's just for one narrow thing. It's really a group of advisors to point you in the right direction to succeed after school. I think that maybe, I don't know if you guys have like a definition for what you guys are, but maybe I just gave you one.
Perfect. Thank you, Jamie. So you've met some of us here who've been talking, about these presentations, about what we do. I also want to kind of mention that we do cover a lot of career-related topics, including but are not limited to career exploration, resume, cover letters, job, internship searching, networking, interview preparations, mock interview, and also job offer negotiations. That's probably something you could utilize later on in your careers. And besides us, we also have 6 peer advisors in our office. They are sophomore, junior, and seniors, undergrads at John Q University who are trained to conduct one-on-one appointment on resume and cover letters writing, as well as to provide and support you in developing your LinkedIn and Handshake profiles and things like that. So one best way to make connection with them is also to make appointment with them through Handshake. And just to keep in mind that when you are scheduling appointment with our peer advisor, you won't be seeing their individual name. However, there will be a peer advisor options for you to select. And then once you select that, you will be scheduled an appointment with one of our peer advisor who are available at that time. So last but not least, we do want to acknowledge the fact that, this is a very challenging time for everyone, especially, if this is your freshman year and this is how you're starting college. But we want to let you know that we are here to help and support you the best way we can. Either it's through one-on-one appointment or through career fairs like Nikki mentioned earlier in the presentation. You can email us at careerservices@jcu.edu if you have any questions, or call us. We are open Monday through Friday virtually 8:30 to 5 p.m. And hopefully we are planning to move into the library next summer. So we really hope to see you in person there. So I understand that some of you still might be, having lots of questions or things that we do here. So we also have a little Q&A sessions for you to ask questions or any concerns that you have. We welcome all of that. And thank you.